was trying to illustrate how I thought patterns would be useful for generating condo site. Um, so I made a little add-on to it. So when you go into patterns, you can use the generate link, and I wrote some code for a couple special cases. One is to export all the variables from a module, and I found this to be really useful for the user module because you have all those special settings for, you know, the welcome message or whatever. So I usually take that thing where it sends you the password in clear text. I take that out of the user welcome message. So I used to just do this with SQL, write a query that generated this XML and would get all these variables in it. But so anyway, I changed it so that now it just runs through the thing, and basically it exports all the variables into a pattern. So you get all the pattern variables that are associated with all the variables that are associated with the module to make it quick to do that. And oh, there's still a couple bugs, but basic because it needs to be unserialized still, and also this needs to be wrapped in C data. But anyway, that's the idea. So I'm just trying to show how I would do this. And then the other thing I thought was really, I do this all the time, and I thought it would be better to write it into patterns, was the roles and perms. So we have these kind of standard perms and roles, well, anonymous, authenticated, admin, content author, site reviewer. Okay, so you pick the ones you want to be in your pattern, and then you decide whether you're going to overwrite the existing permissions or not. And then you pick whatever modules you want to be in the pattern. And basically what this page does is it takes all the existing permissions structure of your Drupal site and turns it into a pattern. So like if there's 7 different permissions that are associated with book, it will copy the book permissions for those 7 for all these roles that you have checked. And if you're consistent about your roles, you can save a lot of time writing the permissions, because you can have one big pattern that actually has all your permissions in it. So even if the modules aren't there for the pattern, you can still have them in the pattern, and then they just won't apply. So this one I thought was handy. Then there's a few other real simple ones that I thought would be really handy for like kicking out menus and kicking out blocks and that sort of thing. Right now there's none of this kind of automation in patterns yet, because they're debating whether to use macros or some sort of macro recorder or whatever. You know how programmers are. They're not sure how they want to approach something. Code generation people take forever trying to decide how they're going to do it. So but I thought this is a pretty simple approach. So basically it kicks out the roles you have selected, and actually it makes the yeah, so it just kicks out quite a few of them into the macro. But you know, it saves a lot of clicking, and not just saving the clicking, but you know, it produces a much more consistent tool set. So if you wanna make a, you know, if you wanted to store things like the permissions in the file system, then you could do better diffing to figure out, you know, if someone messed up the permissions. You could just keep rerunning this on a site you were maintaining if you felt like people weren't keeping the permissions right. So okay, and then this third one is I just have some combined ones where this is basically a single interface for the other 2, and so I would add more where I have variables, roles, and perms. I would have blocks and menus and other things that